the FBI now, under Kash Patel, is moving to criminally charge climate groups who got grants from the Biden administration. So, you know, which is crazy stuff. But you know, this is what happens when you turn the government, the awesome powers of the government. The government is the only institution in a nation, in America, that has the legal power to kill you, that has the legal power to imprison you, that has the legal power to strip you of your home, of your wealth, to separate you from your family, to even expel you from the country. The only institution in America that has that power is the government. And it is now, that power is now being directed. It's now being weaponized. I mean, the Republicans talked for 4 years about Biden weaponizing the federal government when he was prosecuting Trump. Those were prosecutions of an actual criminal who had committed actual crimes right in front of all of us, right in front of God and the world. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. But this is a whole different thing. And as a result of this, Free Speech for People now has got a petition. Over 250,000 people have signed this petition calling for Donald Trump to be impeached. And they've got a whole bunch of bases for that impeachment. He's refusing to execute multiple court orders. There are now 3. I don't know why this isn't like a headline on the news every single day. Another day that Donald Trump is in defiance of court orders. Another day that after a federal court said DOJ cannot, and the Office of Personnel Management, which they've taken over basically, cannot fire people in other agencies. And yet they're still doing it. They announced this morning they're going to fire 20% of the IRS workers so that, billionaires will no longer have to worry about being audited. I mean, this is just amazing. So what they're saying is, this is from their statement from Free Speech for People, that the administration, quote, oversteps the oversteps of the judiciary branch include refusing to release $2 billion in foreign aid in defiance of multiple court orders. And that, by the way, that's $2 billion to pay for services that have already been rendered. Number one. Number two, refusing to adhere to court orders that prohibit the Office of Management and Budget from implementing a freeze on all federal assistance. Number three, refusing to adhere to a court order requiring U.S. Office of Personnel Management Acting Director Charles Ezell to testify in person on March 13th, 2025, in a lawsuit challenging his and OPM's termination of thousands of employees. So they're just openly defying the courts right now, the Trump administration. Hostetler, who is the spokesperson for Free Speech for People, Courtney Hostetler says, quote, Trump has usurped the powers of the legislature and now tramples on the authority of the judiciary. He, like all presidents, must abide by the rule of law, and because he has not, Congress must adhere to its own obligations to carry out an impeachment investigation. And Congressman Al Green, the Democrat from Texas, who stood up to Trump during the State of the Union address and basically said, no, you don't have a mandate to slash Medicaid, said that he's willing to introduce articles of impeachment in the House of Representatives to begin an investigation. Other reasons to impeach Trump is his planning the forced removal of Palestinians from Gaza, his seeking retribution against perceived enemies, individuals within the United States, weaponizing the government in ways that Richard Nixon never even dreamed of, dismantling independent government oversight, particularly the attorneys general. Well, they're not attorneys general. What are they? Inspectors general. The people who are supposed to look for waste, fraud, and abuse. 17 of them were fired by the Trump administration. Receiving foreign and domestic emoluments in violation of the Constitution. This is an impeachable offense. Attempting to deprive Americans of birthright citizenship. Dismissing criminal charges against Eric Adams, and then basically trying to, there's a clear quid pro quo here of saying to Adams, you're going to do what we say or we're going to put you back in jail. And Adams going, okay, sir, yes, sir, please don't put me in jail. Because Adams knows that he was corrupt. He broke the law. abusing pardon and emergency powers. There's a billionaire right now who's trying to cut a deal with Donald Trump to get a pardon. It's in the headlines, it's in the news. Apparently you give Trump enough money, you get a pardon. Blocking efforts to secure U.S. elections and engaging in unlawful corrupt practices during the 2024 presidential campaign. That's a pile of stuff. That is a lot of stuff that is just absolutely wrong that Donald Trump has been doing. And I agree, he needs to be impeached. I get it. The Democrats do not control the House or the Senate. I would like to see them do what John Conyers did back in the day. We had him on this program many times, the late John Conyers. This was back, 15 years ago, 10 years ago. I don't recall exactly, when, but it was during the Bush administration, in the early years of the Bush administration, when we were trying to get Medicare for all. And John Conyers, the Democrats did not have a majority in the House of Representatives, so he couldn't call hearings. So he basically rented a room or appropriated a room. I'm not sure the technicalities of how he got it, in the Capitol building. It was a very small room, actually. It formerly had been a storage room, like a large closet. And he used that for hearings where he had, people come in and testify about how Medicare for all could save us so much money and all these kind of things. I would love to see Al Green or some other Democrat, maybe Jimmy Raskin, appropriate a room someplace in the Capitol. And if they can't get the Capitol, someplace else in Washington, D.C., and start holding hearings on whether Donald Trump should be impeached. It sure seems to me like a good idea. I mean, this is, he has gone way beyond the pale. He is running Putin's playbook from 1999, and not a good or healthy thing. It's 15 minutes past the hour. I'll be back with, is Elon Musk trying to get the God's view of all of us? Why is he scooping up our private data? Is this about spying on us? Stick around. We'll talk about that right after this.